Come on, family. Come on, family. Come on, family. Come on. Come on, family. You already know. You already know, family. You already know. Yeah, this ain't a teaching, this ain't a sermon. This is just talking about bandwagon preachers and prophets. Excuse my lips, the queen kissed me, so that's why my lips look like this. I can't really get it off. But yeah, bandwagon prophets and preachers, it's bad, it's bad. When you're not authentic, when you're not real, when God really didn't call you, when he really didn't choose you, you will jump on any kind of bandwagon of what you think God is doing. And those are the worst people to be in fellowship with. Those are the worst people to be receiving a word with. Those are the worst people to be in fellowship with, And it's sad. It's real sad. Because, see, when you're real, you don't have to do any faking. See, you don't have to go along to get along. You don't have to be oppressed or suppressed, or you don't have to have anybody take your voice away from you and strip you for what God gave to you, because it'll be real. So now we seeing these bandwagon preachers and prophets now, since they've come to the reality, since they've come to their senses, since they got some intelligence to realize, well, that's not God's choice. Oh, we not having that anymore. Oh, once I look at the numbers and I start totaling up the numbers and I start looking at the margin of how far the gap is, then I start realizing, somebody ain't hearing from God. Good afternoon. Yes, sir, Pastor Eric. Yes. See, the thing of it is, I don't understand why people only receive words from people that they think they gotta have a big title. I never understood that. You gotta have a big title, or you gotta be dressed a certain way, you gotta have attained a certain things, and then on top, how you doing, my boy Dwayne? And then on top of that, if you don't have a big church or a large following and all these things, that God can't speak to you. God can't use you. See, one thing I learned when I was growing up is that you can learn something from a nobody. Let me say that again. See, when I was growing up, I learned that you can learn something from a nobody. That means they don't have to have a name. They don't have to have a title. They don't have to have a large following. They don't have to be dressed a certain way, because guess what? I learned a lot of things from people who made a lot of mistakes, so I can learn what not to do. Yeah, long time, fam. That's the thing, and this is why I had to get this off of my chest about these bandwagon preachers and these bandwagon prophets, because they follow any new wave that come along that they think that's in favor of the majority. And let me stop right there, because the fact of the matter is, if the Bible tells us clearly that the broad way is many, that's the majority, and the narrow way is few, and it be those that few that find it, then why would you always be trying to be amongst those of the majority? I don't get that. And These evangelical ones, I don't understand how they support with the racism, with the immortality, with the injustice of black people getting killed openly and everything. And you think that people was going to sit back on this election and not go out and vote and not have a voice? Come on. No. People are not playing slaves no more. We didn't come over here on the boat and land on Plymouth Rock anymore. People are being more conscious. People are being more God-minded. People are being more led by the Spirit. So they not supporting that foolery, that foolishness, And I'm quite sure many of you that follow me, fellowship with me, family, friends, loved ones, schoolmates, or what have you, seen the post that I posted the other day about if you supported Trump, then go ahead and delete yourself before I find you, and just go ahead and bow out with grace and class. Because the sad fact of the matter is, I'm talking about the condition of your heart. I'm talking about the condition of your heart. Because if you tell me that you love God and you support a racist, I know you got a bad heart condition. I know you got a real bad heart condition, And if you can stand to support a man who told his people to stand by, what he basically was saying was, listen, if I don't win, guess what? It's going to be a war, But on the other side of that, what he don't understand is people that's been watching, people that's been silent, people that's been planning and prepared, they're ready for war too. What you think, somebody just going to let you have way on them and they not be prepared? That's like somebody having a home and not protecting it. Nobody ain't just going to let you ravishly just kill them. The foolery. People tired of it. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people won't vocalize it. They won't say it. And that's why I'm the voice for the people, because I say it. I take the ridicule. I'm used to being confrontational. And the fact of the matter is, if you look at all our leaders throughout history, all of them was confrontational. All of them were overlooked. All of them were counted out. Until the things that they started speaking to them were manifesting right before their eyes. And then when those things started manifesting before their eyes, then they started saying, I remember that post the other day, and it was about 200 comments on it, and they said, oh, man of God, you need to go and pray. Oh, man of God, you need to go and repent. Oh, you need to check your heart condition, and all these kinds of things. And then, I guess, offline, they had to realize, well, hold on a minute. I just went on his post and showed out. I called him a fraud. I called him a fake. I said he need to go and pray. He needs to go and repent. How you doing, Cousin Brittany? How you doing, my brother? Welcome to all y'all coming on. And the realization is, they've been watching the news, like I've been watching the news, and they realize it's impossible. It's impossible for him to win. Because, see, this time, cheating is not going to win. Cheating is not going to win this round. You know what I mean? Cheating ain't going to do it. You can't buy enough people. You can't buy enough states. You can't buy enough governors. You can't buy enough mayors. You can't buy enough judges. Because guess what? The voters are the ones that are determining this right here, because people went out and voted. People stood in lines and voted. I voted twice. I voted in the primary and I voted it now. You see what I'm saying? People been campaigning, you know? And people been putting their money where their mouth is, you know? Because that's their power. That's their power of choice. That's their freedom of choice, you know? And we're not tolerating people that's going to try to strip us of our rights. Huh? Come on now. Come on. See, and that's the thing, you know. I was watching Larry Reed live, you know, and Larry Reed, he's crazy. But he had the situation on there about Paula White, and how Paula White said that they are stealing votes, and that they're praying for Trump and praying for his enemies, because Trump enemies are the enemies of God. The idolatry. You see what I'm saying? You see the foolishness of the idolatry of these bandwagon preachers and prophets that are paid off by these elites? Come on. No, honey, you won't get that bag for 4 more years. That's a done deal. Find you another contract. You stole that church down there in Florida. You won't steal this election right here, though. I don't care who you gonna supervise and who you gonna counsel. You gonna find somewhere else to do that. You gonna take that witchcraft and that soothsaying and that bamboozing back to where you got it from. Yeah, see, because I ain't on their program. I ain't in their circle. I don't need their platforms. I don't worry about their invites. That's why I do my own lives. I'm the CEO of Grace Ambassador Church. I'm the founder. I'm the bishop. You see what I'm saying? So that foolishness, I don't have to go along to get along. And that's why God set me aside that way. Huh? Come on now. Huh? Come on. You know? It's crazy. Talk about how can his enemies be God enemies if he's not a man of God? If he's not a child of God? Huh? What kind of foolishness is that? Do you hear the kind of foolishness that come out of these people's mouth that the masses are following? Let me tell you something. One of the key ingredients of spiritual gifts that's missing in the church and the body of Christ right now is discernment. My God, that was a boom. Discernment. To be able to tell the difference of who is of God and who is of the devil. Listen, if you got discernment, you'll know that that's a devil and that's of God. It ain't hard to figure out. You don't have to be super intelligent. You don't have to have major titles behind your name. Doctor, Reverend, Suffragan Prophet, Eagle-Eyed Prophet, Chief Apostle, and all the list that goes on. You don't have to have the robe, you know, with the little thing around your neck when you come on. You know, you don't have to have a mega church. You know, you don't have to drive a certain car, live in a certain neighborhood, have a certain status quote for God to speak to you, for God to use you. People forgetting God used a donkey. God spoke to Moses through a burning bush. But you know what? By being new generals, see, we the people that God used. Because, see, we don't have anything to be prideful about. We don't have anything to boast about. Because it was God that gave us everything that we have. And that we are grateful for all that he's done for us and is continuing to do for us, how he has protected us from people that we could have been attached to be in these same circles, these same groups, these same cliques and everything, and we could have been on the other end of being on the bandwagon, you know. But God delivered us by discernment. Ooh, my God. Mm-mm-mm. God delivered us by giving us the gift of discernment. So we can't be fooled. We can't be tricked. We can't be bamboozled. We can't be bought. Mm-mm-mm. See, my soul ain't got a price. Because the word tells me clearly, what profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? My soul ain't for sale. That's why I keep getting letters from the Illuminati. Huh? They want to buy me. They want to buy me. They want to buy my voice. They want to buy my influence. They want to buy my platforms. They want the audience of people that I'm able to reach. But I would never sell out. I would never sell out. My soul ain't for sale. I ain't never been a sellout. It ain't gonna never sell out. And that's the thing with these evangelicals that are bandwagon preachers and prophets. They are being bought out. That's right, Sister Imani. Thank God for woke people. Because we got to wake the people up. Because the church is sleeping. Some of them in a coma. You know? I mean, the devil got them in a headlock. You know? And I'm talking about they'll argue with you. They'll debate with you. They'll tell you you ain't a man or a woman of God because you don't agree with who they voting for. Huh? They'll tell you, oh no, leave that in God's hands. Oh, we shouldn't get involved in politics and all these things. That's a lie. We supposed to be for righteousness. We supposed to be for justice. We supposed to be for holiness. We supposed to be for equality. Huh? These people aren't being taught in their churches. These people aren't being taught by their leaders. They so quick to get a word. They so quick to be hanging on a word about a new husband or a new wife, or they getting a building, or they getting a car, or they getting a house. But not about getting their mind right, getting their heart right, getting their soul right, and stop playing church. Stop being on the bandwagon. Stop going blindly, because the blind leading the blind. You don't gotta follow the blind when your eyes is open. And I'm not talking about your physical eye. I'm talking about your spiritual eye, your third eye, the insight that God give you. Don't renounce what God gave you when He showed you. Come on now. People want to be so politically correct, you know, but they don't want to be spiritually correct. Because if you be spiritually correct, that'll set the political in place, because you have the right morals, values, and principles to know how to govern. See, that's why I'm hard on leadership, because a lot of these people with these titles, they don't even know how to govern what God has assigned to them. You know? That's the crazy thing. They don't know how to govern. That's why they got the people bamboozled. Yes, they did. They definitely showed us who they are. God pulled the cover off them, Sister Imani. You know? And they coming out public. You know? They coming out public. You know? Like I said, one of them is Paula White. So I advise you to get rid of that devil. And yeah, I said it right here on my live, you know, because there's no way that you can be a spiritual advisor for a racist, an immoral, and a man that had all those policies, and tell me that the Holy Spirit didn't convict you to say, you know what, this man needs saved. This man needs delivered. This man need to be out of this office, because first of all, he didn't even have the education even to be in the race. Second of all, he don't have the political experience that it takes to govern a country. Man, I'm like, what school did you went to? What kind of degree do you have? Seriously? Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, so, yeah, be aware. Be aware of them bandwagon preachers, them bandwagon prophets. They're going to be all up and down your timeline talking about how they praying for him. But praying ain't changing nothing, because it took the work this time with the prayer to get out and vote, or to mail your ballot in. You know, because people were concerned about their future, the future of their kids, their grandkids, nieces and nephews for the next 4 years. Come on now. Come on. They told you about this coronavirus beforehand, before it got outbreak and all out of control and everything, and you reacted late. You don't know how to manage anything. You don't know how to govern anything. You don't know how to set anything in order, because a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. And what kills me too is, you know, these Christians, these believers, these saints, you know, these professional Christians, these prestigious Christians, these famous Christians, they got the audacity to be putting God's approval on people that God hadn't approved. You can't approve of something that God didn't approve. I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. And that's a lesson we need to learn too, using discernment. Stop putting the approval of God on people that God did not approve, that God did not call, that God did not choose, that God is not operating through. And I'm telling you, you can already know. You can already know. That's right. That's right. It shows, because America is immoral. Yeah, definitely. You know, because people can't be at peace if the country is not being governed righteously. How you doing, my sister Nicole? Because people gotta be able to function in a peaceful environment, to know that they can live. And one of the things in the Constitution is religious freedom, you know. And right now, the church don't have religious freedom. Do they not understand that? Do these bandwagon preachers do not know that? Huh? That's why most of the churches are shut down, or they're having drive-up services or drive-through services, and a lot of leaders are doing lives and virtuals and Zooms and all these kind of things. Come on. And that's the guy you telling me you think that God approved and chose? Come on, wake up, church. Wake up. I'm going to wake you up. I'm going to wake you up. I ain't going to let you stay asleep. I ain't gonna let you stay in the coma. You know? I ain't gonna let you eat the cake, anime. I ain't gonna let you eat the cake. You know? And it's crazy. You know? It's crazy. You know? Because, see, they figure you gotta be sitting in a pulpit. You know? Or they figure you gotta be on a platform. You gotta be in a stadium. Or sitting behind a desk. You know? But guess what? I'm like John the Baptist. I'm like the prophets of old. Guess what? I'm out in the wilderness. I'm out in the wilderness. You see? I'm out in the wilderness. I'm out in the wilderness where the glory of God resides and shines at. You know? I here by myself. You know? So I can hear him clear. So I can hear the birds chirping. You know? See, I got the radiance of the sun beaming down on me, because he approved of me. Because he told me to come and tell you this today. You know what I mean? So when I say I heard this in my spirit, I heard this in my spirit for real. Not something I had to copy off of YouTube or Instagram or any other site. Come on now. That's the bandwagon preachers. They copy each other. That's why they only invite each other to their conferences, to their churches, to their ministries. Because they in the clique, they in the circle, they in the group, you know. See, if they bring one of those new generals in, then people know the difference between a Saul and a David. Let me break that down for you real quick. The difference between a Saul and a David is Saul was the anointed one that God was using, and that David was the one that he anointed forever. That's another one. That's another sermon at another day. That's another sermon. That's another teaching at another day. See, Saul, you know, got jealous, you know, about the anointed king. Just like this fella is doing now. He's all jealous now. He wants the Supreme Court to do a recount. Seriously? We have never had an election count go this many days. Because we have a kid, a grown kid, who don't have any class, any kind of integrity to bow out and say, you know what? I lost fair and square. That nobody cheated me. And that the numbers speak for themselves from every state. And that it didn't depend on just one state this time. You know? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, sis. Yeah, God is speaking. Yeah, God is speaking. You know? And watch how these bandwagon prophets, all of a sudden, they're going to be having these 12 hours, 24 hours, 7 hours turnaround about, oh no, God changed his mind. No, God didn't change his mind. God already knew who he had appointed for the next 4 years, who he already had approved, you know, for the next 4 years, because he already seen how we've been bamboozled. He already seen how we was being brainwashed. He already seen how violence and outrage and anger and systematic racism at its all-time high. When you got people getting killed by the police openly. Openly. On camera? How you get killed on camera? And then, on top of that, you mean to tell me that you can get a call to go to somebody else's house and go to the wrong house and kill a person? Not be held accountable for that? Or mistake somebody else's house for yours and just walk in and you just happen to see them sitting there and you decide that, hey, listen, I'm killing them this day and I'm going to go to court and say, you know what? I walked in the wrong apartment. No, listen, this is a heart condition. See, this is a heart condition. See, and that's what I want people to understand about the post that I made. It was about a heart condition, not just about a political stand. Because we're dealing with the evil hearts of people from generations, from decades, because they know who the original kings and queens is. So that's why they out to kill us. You better use your mind. You better use your mind, which is a weapon that God gave you, which is a ministry that God gave you. And that's why you don't need to fellowship with certain leaders in certain churches, because they want to dumb you down. They don't want you to think. They want to think for you. They want to dictate what you can think. They want to dictate your choices. So they can keep you in bondage. And I'm going to say this. some of our worst churches, ministries, leaders are those of the African American ones, because they are enslaving our people more than the systematic racism, because they are brainwashing them, not educating them, and they're using the church as a plantation, and they are the master. See, that's why they won't invite me. That's why they won't invite me, because they know I don't play church. They know I ain't from off the plantation. They know my roots come from sharecropping. My great grandmother and my great grandfather from Roseville, South Carolina, they were sharecroppers. You know, they know I don't go along to get along. You know, they can't pay me off. You know, yeah. They ain't ready for me. They ain't ready for me. That's why I stay all gas, no brakes. And that's why I'm going to keep on dropping the boom on. You know, that's right. You know, we need to start exposing some of the ones too in those little circles. Those other bandwagon ones, you know, who are enslaving our people in the church, in the ministry. Come on now. You know, they tell you talking about, you can't go fellowship to anybody else's church. You know, you can't go visit anyone else's church. You can't link up with any other leaders. You know why they tell you that? They tell you that because you might learn something. You might wake up. You might get woke. You might get educated. You know, you might get delivered for real. You know, because people only think that people get delivered from drinking and smoking and having sex and those kind of things. But people need to be delivered in their mind, because some people are slave in their mind. Some people are brainwashed in their mind. Some people, souls are being held captive. Don't know that they're enslaved, sitting on a pew. Come on. People are enslaved, sitting on a pew, sitting in the chair, sitting on the pulpit. But they talk about the people that drink and smoke and having sex. Them the only ones that need to be delivered. Come on, really? That's the end all and be all of deliverance? They ain't ready for me. They ain't ready for me. You know they ain't ready for me. They ain't ready for me. They ain't ready for me. But they ain't got to worry about it though. God gonna set up another platform after a while where it's gonna be coming from out of the wilderness to coming to being established. They're really gonna be mad then. But until then, I'm gonna be humble where I'm at and let him use me for his glory, because his people need his encouragement, his enlightenment, his truth, his righteousness, his upbuilding, his edification, you know, from new generals that he's really called, chose, and anointed. So I just had to drop that on you because that was in my spirit. So thank all y'all for joining on. Thank all y'all for y'all fellowship, you know. All y'all that been rocking with me. All my brothers, all my sisters, you know. All my friends, family, loved ones, schoolmates, and everything. So, this is my last day at this current job that I'm on right now. And so I'll be out of here in a few hours. And God has blessed me with another amazing opportunity. I have to tell you about that. But God always keeps surprising me. He always keeps surprising me, because the more humble I am, the more he exalts me. That's a message for somebody too. The more humble you are, the more God can exalt you and use you and take you to different heights. Enjoy your day too. Y'all enjoy y'all day. So I'll see y'all out there on Facebook land. Like, tag, share, because a lot of other people need to hear this message also. And we need to keep being who God called us to be, destined us to be. Stay woke, One love to you, Grace and peace be unto you till next time. All right, it's your boy, Bishop Anthony M. See your brother. Till next time, peace.